So this is episode 73 of my weekly diary. Definitely not 23 because last time I accidentally said 22. So in this one I don't have any game footage yet. So I played on Wednesday, but I won't have any of that because they haven't sent us the game yet. So I don't have anything for that. I played a game today, don't have that either. So that will be a part of next week's one. So hopefully I can get some good kind of footage together and some highlights to put into next week's video, so that should be quite interesting. This week I had Kent training and also a lot of Oxford stuff, especially travelling, as of how much I did. So I hope you enjoy. So quick video for Monday, and today it was very tackle heavy and like very contact heavy. So what we ended up doing was the kind of usual bags and like tackle mats, so we were doing those were absolutely fine. And then it kind of got into the heavier tackling stuff, so like one-to-one kind of tackles, so you're handing them off and you're like pretty focused on doing that, and then the person will try and tackle you and obviously you're trying to evade it, so it was quite hard. And we did that for like 2 minutes, and then we went into some game stuff, which like it wasn't too bad, but I think some people were forgetting some of the calls, so it made it a bit difficult at first. But it was definitely like a good session, I would say. Trying to remember what we did. So we would kind of try not to make it say like the calls, because obviously I'm not allowed to do that for obvious reasons of other teams. So not doing that. We were just doing set moves that are close to the try line. And that's kind of how our day went, was going through set moves off line out, scrums, quite a lot of like line out practices, like moving people around and having a look, and that was my day. So this one's going to be a bit of an annoying one because it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I'll do a separate one for Friday. And the reason why I'm doing those three is because Tuesday I spent most of it travelling. Thursday was like 2 hours of school and then I came back. So there's not really much in those 2 days, while Wednesday is quite heavy with information. So let's begin. So on Tuesday, straight after school, not a lot interesting happened at all, so I won't really go through that. The only thing I will say is I got one of my coursework back and I don't have to redo it at all, because like resub, because I managed to get the highest mark you could have within that one, so I was quite happy with that. And we got home, we quickly packed everything into our bags because we were going to a hotel and we were playing against Bishop Burton. So if you don't know where that is, I will swear, it is in the arse end of nowhere. Like, it is far, like ridiculously far. So we ended up traveling for I think 3, maybe 4 hours, and I was like, because I get car sickness, I had a patch here, I'd taken like a tablet to make sure I do not be sick. So I was like, oh my god, like please don't feel sick. But luckily for me, the tablet I use is so good, so I like didn't feel sick or anything like that. We ended up getting like service food, so, and then we made it to the hotel, which in my opinion I got so lucky with. So I was with my mate, literally the only person who lives in my accommodation, and it was just us two. So like other rooms had 4 people, some did have 2, but like they had to still share a bed. Me and her got like twin beds, so we didn't have to share a bed or anything. It was absolutely lovely. And then it took us like 30 minutes to go to sleep. Like we pretty much unpacked, had a look around, then went to bed, because it was such a long day of travelling and it took it out of us. So then in the morning we had to travel for an hour to actually get to Bishop Burton, which is still like a bit of a long one. So not only did we travel there, we travelled there. We went to Morrison's for like a little service break. They had like a calf, so everyone got calf food. I ended up getting like a bacon roll. I didn't want to eat too much because for the game I would probably be sick. So then we got back on the coach And it wasn't coaches, by the way. It was 4 minivans, which is really odd. So all the coaches were driving and 1 warden. Yeah, so we finally get there. We're way too early because we left at 9:15. It's an hour away and the game didn't start till like 2 p.m. So we are well early. So we had like a look around the pitch and everything like that. And it was a little bit of a walk, but not too far. But it was so weird. It was like, you looked at the pitch and it looked stunning. The lines were like perfect and everything like that. The grass was all cut equal. But then you stood on it and it was like this, like, it was like a sponge. Like you stepped on it and you literally went in. And it was a bit odd. Someone fell over, that was quite funny. But yeah, it was weird that like how it looked versus the actual quality of it was like unexpected. So for the actual game, I think I did pretty well. I was quite happy with kind of what I did. Made some good tackles on some big players and ended up playing 8 as well. So I was told beforehand that I'd most likely be prop and hooker, but I was prop for like the middle section, got taken off like always, and then the coach came up to me, he was like, I want to put you back on, thinking 7, but then we'd have to change the lineouts because like 7 normally does all the calls and everything like that. And so he was like, can you play 8? And I was like, yes I can, because I was so like hyped up, and it has been a while since I've played 8. So I got in there and like for the first few scrums I was like trying to work out what I was doing again. So the second row was like, make sure you hold us back. And I was like, okay. And it was I know what I'm doing, but at the same time I don't, because like I don't play it often. It's not like one of my main positions, but it is like one of the positions I can play. So ended up doing that. Took me a few scrums, like there were loads of scrums, so it was quite easy to be able to practice off those. And then by the end I was pretty much good. I knew what I was doing, kind of where I was going with everything like that. And yeah, so I was like, I made some like decent line breaks and everything like that. Definitely was like calling for the ball more, making sure I was in the right place. So I was like quite happy with my performance overall. But yeah, and then Wednesday we travelled back same day, but we didn't go to a hotel or anything, and that was such a long trip because that was like 4 hours back as well, and it was absolutely exhausting. I pretty much got back here, ate some food, and then went to bed. I was so tired. And then Thursday, we were supposed to have like a pat testing to make sure your electrical items aren't going to explode or something. And they told us that it'd be done at 8:30 in the morning. So I put all my electricals outside my room and I put a note saying, please do not wake me. Like, here are all my electrical items. And then the guy cancelled anyway and ended up waking up at 7:30. And I was like, this is not what I wanted, because my class doesn't start till like 1 p.m, 1:15. So that was kind of my day, and it feels like it has been a long week. So I hope you enjoy it, but yeah. So this is my quick speaking video for Kent. Honestly, I thought it went so well. I was really happy with it. What we did was definitely different from last time, because I think last time was more line out focused, and like last time we did full contact games, but this time it was more focused on drills, line outs, kind of teamwork stuff, but like a lot less tackling, which obviously I like tackling, but I was definitely tired still from my game on Wednesday, so I didn't mind that too much. So we started with different drills pretty much. Like, well, first we started with the warm-up, which always takes absolutely ages, which is really surprising because they go through so many different things, and I think they're trying to make it so we remember it because it's always the same thing and everything like that. So I'm guessing before games, because obviously we haven't had games yet, they're going to make us do the exact same thing again. But honestly, considering how it was 2 seasons ago, Kent has gotten so much better. I'm definitely enjoying it a lot more than I was. Then we had line-outs, which was kind of focusing on different calls and like where to lift, going through some dummies and just things like that, which is always fun to go through. And we had conditioning, but honestly the conditioning wasn't too bad. I preferred it over last session's one. The conditioning was, so you ran to the 5, jogged backwards back, then sprinted to the 22, ran back, and then went to the opposite sideline. So it wasn't like full pitch, it was like side of the pitches. So that wasn't bad, too bad. Like, obviously it was hard, but considering last time we did like a 1200 but it was broken into 2 parts, that was definitely a lot harder. And I didn't use an ankle strap at all, and I didn't feel my ankle at all, so I was really happy about that. And then after all that, we kind of moved into a shoulders on game, but it was slightly different because it was rucks contested, scrums not contested at all, line-outs were contested, and it was 15 versus whoever was left was the defenders. So they kind of just picked 15 randomly and then had everyone else doing it. And that was pretty much the whole session, was just going through different drills, line-outs, scrums, then games. So honestly, I found it really fun. I was quite happy with it. So I hope you enjoy.